What's going on, everyone? So, Los Angeles Lakers offense looked fantastic against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, the lack of shooting and putting the ball into the hoop didn't look fantastic, but the looks and quality looks we were getting, the actual motion and flow of the offense, constant player movement, constant ball movement. You saw all the things that you wanted to see from this team, and it's just kind of like, man, if this team could just, like, what does this look like when a team is actually hitting shots, right? I mean, Lakers put up 110 points on the number one defense in the league last year while shooting 17% from three on 5 of 30 attempts. And a lot of that was just, them dominating the interior, which is what the Lakers have always done and always done best. However, they do want to shoot more threes. And that is a very important part of today's game. You need to be able to rebound, you need to be able to hit shots, you need to be able to shoot the three, and got to take care of the basketball, which Lakers did basically everything except for shooting threes. And it's really going to be heavily reliant on particularly three guys, right? Like D'Angelo Russell is your highest volume make three-point shooter, and he was 1 of 7 from three. Austin Reeves, I've talked about this before, it's like he's completely forgotten how to shoot. I heard it was preseason, I heard it was this, I heard it was that, and guess what? He was 0 of 5 from 3 opening night. I mean, it dates back all of last season, shot 28% from 3 in the playoffs, and he's got to be able to consistently knock down threes. The only reason I'm not worried about D'Lo yet is because we had an entire sample size last season, not really the playoffs. Lakers were just shooting terribly in the playoffs. D'Lo, Reeves, Rui had their poor shooting performances in the playoffs, so that's definitely a concern. But specifically the regular season, D'Lo we've seen historically pick it up. Even last year he started slow, which I'd prefer he not do that this year, but he did end up finishing historically great from three-point range. So if he gets into a rhythm, I'm not really too worried about that, where Reeves has kind of just been this extended sample run where it's just like, I'm not saying he has to shoot the lights out. I'm not saying he has to be, 43% from three or anything like that, but he's got to be good enough to where teams really challenge. I do love that Austin Reeves has been very aggressive on the offensive side. I love that Austin Reeves hasn't settled. I like that he's improved his rebounding. I like that he's been getting after it on the defensive side, right? Reeves has a lot of really good things going on with him that we've seen in preseason and now in the first game of the NBA season. Love to see it. He needs to keep that up. But it just makes things so much harder on him when he can't shoot the three. Because teams know what he wants to do. Teams know what the only thing that's left for him to do. And we saw even Minnesota start to sag off of him a little bit on occasion. And it's like, why wouldn't you? He's 0 of 5, right? You can't make a bucket. And then Rui Hachimura, who was, he was fantastic, right? 50% from the floor, 18 points, but he was 1 of 4 from 3. Same thing with LeBron James, who was 1 of 4 for 3. And we'll talk about him in a moment. Anthony Davis was 1 of 3. But the reason I want to focus for a moment on these three is because these three are the guys in the starting unit that are going to get a majority of the three-point looks, but also we need to knock down with some efficiency. Not saying that they have to be insanely lights out, but they got to be at least good enough and serviceable enough to where teams have to worry, teams have to contest. Right? They can't afford, because you get to the playoffs and all three of these guys can't shoot. Why are we going to worry about it? Why not pack the paint and just make sure Anthony Davis doesn't dominate us and make sure LeBron James can't do what he wants to do? All right? And, you look at off the bench, our young guys in particular. You got Max Christie. You got Dalton Connect. Now, Max Christie was 0 of 3 from 3 and 0 of 3 from the field, period. It was only in 11 minutes, 3 attempts, but, he's there to, one, yes, play defense. He needs to be locked down defensively. He needs to be a guy that can defend multiple positions. We saw that even in the Timberwolves game. Now, he did get in foul trouble really early on. A couple of those fouls, in my opinion, were little silly. But nonetheless, right? Hey, they got called. You need to be able to defend without fouling. And we need to see you be able to consistently provide multiple things out there on the basketball court. You got a couple rebounds, right? Defend, but you got to hit shots, right? if you can't hit shots, then it's just like we have so many one-dimensional guys on this team. Like Max Christie, 40% catch and shoot three. Now, look, again, it's not panic mode yet. It's the first game of the season. Guys getting in a rhythm. Right? We even saw it last year. Guys started off, needed to get in a rhythm, and then they, percentage-wise, shot well. They just didn't take a large volume, where the idea is to start taking some more volume this season. And the only way you're really going to be able to do that is if you're knocking it down with some regularity. And, you need guys like Max Christie who are supposed to be that 3-and-D guy off the bench. Even Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent didn't take a single three. He only took 2 shots total, and he was 50% from the floor. But when he's out there, he needs to be knocking down threes. Dalton Connect was 1 of 3 from 3. 2 of 4 from the floor. Right? We know Dalton Connect can get hot. We know he gets one. We've even seen him go 0-4 from 3 and then finish, 5 of 10. And you're just like, wow, right? Like, so he's a guy that, can get it up in a hurry, but consistently night in and out. He's probably not going to get 10 attempts a game on average. So we need to see him be able to knock it down with some regularity. Right? Now, obviously, again, Connect as well as Christie, if they're getting, 5 threes a game, you got to be somewhere around 2 on average, right? Because that'd get you somewhere to 40%. But, if you're shooting 1 of 4, or 1 of 5, it's just, that's not a great look. Right? There's going to be good nights. There's going to be bad nights. And I mean that for everybody, right? But we are looking for the young guys to be so impactful. We are looking for the young guys to be a good chunk of our offense off the bench. Hey, we don't really have, like, when Christian Wood gets back, one, he should hopefully help with 3-point shooting, but also he should be able to help with just the offensive production off the bench, period, because you'll get a legit, 17-point a game guy off the bench. But in the meantime, and even when he does get back, you still are reliant on Dalton Connect, on Max Christie. Gabe Vincent is another guy that you want to see, got to get a couple, a handful of points off the bench. Jackson Hayes was solid, but he's not a guy shooting threes. And then, you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Now, LeBron was 1 of 4 from 3-point range. He struggled, he was 7 of 16 overall. Which is that's over 40%, but still not for LeBron standards, he was not excellent. But he's a guy that, you look at last year and then preseason stuff, he looked fine shooting the 3 ball. But again, LeBron isn't above needing to knock down with some consistency, needing to knock down with some regularity. If you're taking 5 threes, you gotta get me 2. And then Anthony Davis, no one's expecting him to shoot the lights out, but he is is expected to shoot a couple more threes a game. I like that he was 1 of 3. You basically, would he have been if he took 2 more? Would he would have made at least 1 of those 2, and then he would have been around 40%. If Anthony Davis can give you a 3 a game or 2 threes a game, that opens stuff up for him. Obviously, I don't want Anthony Davis taking 10 threes a game. I don't. I want him dominant around the rim. 3 to, if he's feeling it a little bit, maybe 5. No, if he's really if he, say he takes, he goes 3 from 3 for 3, right? Then sure, right? Let's see what he can do. But, if he you missed 2, all right, now let's get back to business. Right? We need to have that balance, because I don't want Anthony Davis turning into a cat or something like that. I want him where he's best, in that 15-in range where you can't stop him, right? He's a guy that just dominate, helping rebound and doing everything. I'm not saying he has to go get you 36 a game, right? But I do believe he can go get you 27 to 30 a game. But, you do want to see him stretch the floor and take a couple threes. You want to see, again, everybody should be taking a couple threes, but comes down to efficiency. Comes down to, you got to be able to do it and knock it down with some regularity. Bad nights happen. Bad shooting nights happen. It's first game of the season, right? But the season's going to come up fast. And you already got back-to-backs and stuff like that, literally tomorrow. So you need the Lakers to start hitting some shots and doing it with some consistency. But I do have faith in this team. I do have faith in this squad to be able to knock down shots. But it's really going to come down to Probably Reeves and D'Lo more than anything. Because there are two guards, our point guard or shooting guard, and then the guys that are going to, on most nights, get the highest volume. All right, like Reeves is probably getting 5+ threes a game. D'Lo's probably getting 7+ threes a game. So you're talking about the two guys, between the two of them, probably getting 12+ threes a game. And if you're shooting 30 of them, 40, let's say 40 of them, talking 25% of your attempts are coming from just these two guys. So you need to have these two guys be able to knock it down with some consistency. You need to have these two guys. Austin Reeves has got to remember how to shoot. He's got to figure out how to shoot. Again, I'm not saying he has to shoot the lights. I'm not saying he has to be 45% or anything like that. But got to at least be 38%, right? Somewhere in that range, 37.5%. And I know last year people look and just, do the stat watching thing and go like, who's 37% last year? Watch the season. I challenge you to go back and look through the season. He averaged that at the end of the season. He didn't average that through the season. There's a big difference. You see guys that are 38% from three, and it's just because night in and night out, they're 38% from three. But they'll have a game where they're 0 of 5, and then they have a game where they're like 9 of 10. And it's just, again, but they're night in and night out 38%. It's not what Reeves was. Reeves was, 5 games where he just was like 1 of 8, and then he'd have like 5 games where he was like 4 of 6. Like, he just was incredibly inconsistent shooting the three ball. We need a level of consistency from him. And D'Angelo Russell, we need him to be able to kind of replicate what he did last year. Both of these guys started very slow last season, particularly shooting the basketball. Can't afford that. D'Lo's got to be... I like D'Lo and his activity. I liked his, physicality and just getting after it on the defensive side. I loved his playmaking. I loved when his shots weren't falling. He started making plays and kind of getting other guys involved and stopped shooting the basketball. He didn't just shoot us out of the game. Again, Austin Reeves, I love the rebounding, love the defense, love that I love that these two guys are doing other things out there on the basketball court. But you got to hit shots. At the end of the day, that's why they're there. The only way you solve their redundancy is if they're both hitting shots with some real regularity. Then you're good. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with my points? Disagree with my points? Do you think, yes, these two guys, they gotta handle business? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.